The word privilege has taken on a particularly polarizing position in the collective lexicon, as it is currently being hurled at folks for such egregious atrocities as being born with penises, functioning limbs, heteronormative inclinations, and perceived melanin deficiencies. Shaming and berating people for their perceived/projected privilege is violent, sadistic, and pointless. All it does is legitimize and empower the very system that is doing the privileging. It reinforces inequality by naming and claiming the perceived/projected inequality while sustaining the issues it alleges to call out and seeding more of them into our future. Let's take a moment to define what privilege actually means, given that the word has been so weaponized and has become so dangerously loaded that it now functions to project an epic array of programmed assumptions onto folks based on superficial optics that don't accurately speak to anyone's lived experience, only to the stereotypes we have been indoctrinated to hurl upon one another. Privilege, a right or benefit given to some people and not to others. It's true that some folks are bestowed with benefits that others are not. Some folks are born into broken homes, while others incarnate into tightly bonded family units. Some inherit disabilities or neurological distortions, while others are blessed with exceptional gifts and talents. Plenty of folks endure a combination of these factors, as is the case with Stephen Hawkins, Vincent van Gogh, and Daniel Johnston, among countless others whose names we will likely never know. Some folks undergo traumatic experiences that will scar them for life, while others are blessed with safe, incident-free childhoods that allow them to preserve their innocence and skate through their formative years without PTSD. Some are born into peaceful, resource-rich geographies, while others are born into impoverished, war-torn environments. Some folks benefit from family connections and esteemed bloodlines, while others are left to figure it out on their own, without these kinds of support structures already in place. When it comes to privilege, it's really a mixed bag. Alas, the Matrix has thoroughly mangled the true meaning of this word to now connote a reductive checklist of stereotypes and externalities that we have been manipulated into associating with a deeply unfair, unchecked advantage, which is now being mislabeled as privilege. According to this paradigm, every person with white skin has more privilege than anyone with dark skin, just as anyone with a penis has more privilege than anyone with a vagina. This is supposed to apply even if the Black person was born into a loving family of wealth and the white person was born to an abusive crack whore who sold him into child slavery when he was 4. Or if the male was born with a rare blood disease that forced him to endure several painful operations throughout the childhood he spent in isolation, while the female was born healthy and excelled at sports at an early age, ultimately earning a full ride to an Ivy League university and 2 Division I championship titles. Do you see how this word has been maligned and weaponized? The cancel culture blood sport of hurling the word privilege only serves to direct our attention towards the perception of inequality or unfairness. And for some, that's the point, as we have been led to believe that there is value in compulsively calling out disparity. Alas, there is acknowledging and there is wallowing. This is not to deny the legitimacy of the descriptive or the pain that hierarchy's trademark inequity foments. It is simply to explain how this word is functioning as a means of reality creation technology and to understand the frequencies it is seeding into the morphic field as well as the minds of our fellow humans. Acknowledgement happens in a moment. We illuminate a shadow, we slip off the blindfold, look at what we've done, take stock of how it's affected ourselves and others, acknowledge our responsibility, glean the lessons, and move forward. All the wiser, more humble, and integrated for the experience and the lessons it afforded us. Privilege, as it's being wielded these days, is akin to a bludgeon, driving the oftentimes misguided and erroneous point home again and again and again and again, rendering the top tier higher and the lower tier lower, verily expanding the distance between the levels of hierarchy. It makes separation separator, moving us further and further away from each other. Being positioned on a higher status rung than another doesn't mean that someone is bad, has done something wrong, or is deserving of punishment / societal disfavor. To judge someone for his position is to fuel the construct that is doing the positioning, because that construct is reliant upon our distraction and our obsession with the task of blaming each other for the inequities between us, which keeps us from addressing the actual problem, which is the metastructural overlord that is manipulating the positioning and is trying to convince us that we need positions in the first place. Labeling folks privileged is disempowering sour grapes. Not only does it do all of nothing to equalize the playing field, it puts down those folks who are being placed in the unprivileged category. When we hurl the privilege label, we place those who fall outside the boundaries of this classification on a lower tier of the hierarchical scale. In this way, the modern day use of this word does the exact opposite of what those who wield it claim to intend. Projecting privilege onto folks isn't just reductive and divisive, it is to maintain the very inequities we are claiming to critique. Only when we speak equality will we pave the way for an equal society. And by equal, I mean one forged of equal opportunity, not equality of outcome, which is an idealistic fairy tale incompatible with the natural order of life here on planet Earth.